Hello and welcome to the Pete Braley Show. I'm your host, Pete Braley, and this is show number 1. I wanted to welcome you to our new show and to give you a little preview of what we hope to do on each episode. For those of you that don't know, I was on the radio here in Greater New Bedford for almost 40 years. I started at WNBH, and then I was part of the Joni and Pete show on WMYS back in the 80s. I went to WBSM to do the morning show, and I was there for 25 years. Then I went to Easy 99.1 in Plymouth. And in 2015, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to Plymouth to do the show. And as I went down my stairs, I had a stroke. So since then, I've spent my time writing, podcasting. I do some high school sports here for New Bedford Cable Network. And for the past few years, I've also done a show here called Classroom Chronicle, which I will continue to do in addition to this show. This show will be similar to one that I used to do on YouTube with my son Matt, except there's no Matt. He is off pursuing his music career. Please check him out on YouTube or Spotify or anywhere you go for music. He goes by his middle name Hunter, so it's Hunter Braley. Check out his music, and I hope to have him on the show soon. Another difference is that this show is recorded, so I can't communicate with you in real time like I used to do on the YouTube show. There was a chat feature, and people could comment. We are on Facebook. I guess Twitter is now called X, right? We're also on X and Instagram. You can email me or follow any of our social medias. You can email me at thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. On every show, I will share with you some interesting stories. That'll be some of the regular features. We'll have Braley's Bizarre But True. These are bizarre but evidently true stories that we found. We'll have a feel-good feature, which is a positive news story, because people always have complained over the years, you guys never do any good news, it's all negative news. So we're going to have a segment of the show just for some good news. We'll have a guest on every show that I hope you will find interesting. And we'll see if our guest wants to participate in a couple of segments, like our top 5 list or random question. Hidden Gems is a feature that I'm excited about. This will be something in our area that maybe you've never discovered or you've heard about but never quite did it. I'll have a few of those, and I'll be looking for your suggestions. And the last thing I'll do at each show is I will end it by saying, make it a great day. Now, I've done that for a couple of years, and I chose those words for a specific reason. I always felt like have a nice day required something else to happen to allow you to have that nice day. You know, like, I hope everything goes well and you have a nice day. Whereby make it a great day puts you in charge. You're the one that decides, I'm not going to let the boss bother me. I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm going to make it a great day. So I just wanted to slip that little explanation as to why I'm going to end each show with that. All right, so let's get started. Did you hear about the rating for Massachusetts? Plenty of people complain that Massachusetts is, oh man, it's Massachusetts. Well, Massachusetts is the best place to live. That's according to Wallet Hub. They have come out with their list for 2023. Massachusetts is number 1, the same spot it held last year. New Jersey is number 2, New Hampshire number 3, New York is number 4, and Wyoming is number 5. What Massachusetts lacks in affordability, which we can all relate to, it ranks 44th on that score, it made up for in schools, doctors, and crime. We are number 1 when it comes to education and health, and we are 6th when it comes to crime. The economy was number 11 out of the whole country. It's not just a great place to live either. Last week, Wallet Hub said that the state of Massachusetts was the best state to have a baby in. That's above Minnesota, Vermont, and Rhode Island. My guest on our first show is Ian Abreu, and welcome, Ian.
Thanks, Pete. I appreciate you having me. It's an honor to be alongside you again.
Now, I do want to say, for those tuning in, that we are not going to be discussing politics today. And the reason is I forgot a tie. No, but we'll do that on another show, and I'll wear a tie for that. But I wanted to talk about Silmo Syrups and how that all came to be and how you got involved. And there's a family connection, right?
Absolutely. Again, thank you for the opportunity. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
No, pleasure is all mine. So, yeah, so Silmo Syrup was founded in 1932 by two gentlemen with the last name of Sylvia and Moraes, or Moraes.
Aha.
So that's the acronym of Silmo. You cram the two names together. They had held the company. It had changed ownership 2 other times, and then well, we fast forward now into 1973, when my grandfather and at the time his partner Manny Correa decided to purchase Silmo Syrup. At the time, of course, folks in New Bedford may remember it's now the Inner Bay building.
Yes.
That was the Silmo building that it was produced out of. That was our offices. That was my grandfather's property. And my grandfather had held on to the company until 1989, for which, and my father, who was the production director at Silmo, stayed on under the new ownership up until 2001, which unfortunately at that point, due to a couple of questionable business decisions, Silmo had ceased to exist. So now we go forward to 2023, some 22 years or so, forward. I brought it back. It's been a labor of love for me. People have been bending my ear for a while. Hey, I know you've got the recipes. Do you want to bring it back? It was the best around. When do you want to bring it back? You should bring it back. The timing was never perfect, right? Due to, as you mentioned at the open, my political stuff, but being a father with 2 small kids and a husband. And of course, there's never a perfect time.
Right.
So of course I do it when I have a 7 and a 3-year-old, because that apparently is the perfect time. But no, we officially reascended last December of 2022. We started with some small farmers markets, pop-ups, things like that, and we are now in over 100 local, regional, and national stores, grocery stores, chains, and we're continuing our growth every day.
Wow. What makes Silmo different? Because what are the competitors? Is it still Autocrat? Are they still out there?
Please, that's like the Yankees to me. Please,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pete.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hey, look, and
but what sets you apart?
So they've been around a long time. These other companies all do good work too. So what sets us apart is that unlike the other brands, and I'm not going to mention any names.
I'm sorry, I did.
It is all right.
Yeah, all right.
We don't use high fructose corn syrup in our coffee syrup.
Okay.
The other brands tend to, and the other big dog on the block, they definitely use high fructose corn syrup. And to me, and in the opinion of our consumers and those who grew up with Silmo, that molasses-like corn syrup liquid, it cheapens the coffee flavor. For our coffee syrup, it's a pure 100% pure Colombian coffee bean punch you get in the syrup, and you taste it in the milk, you taste it on top of your ice cream. It really makes a difference. And we use pure sugar cane. So sugarcane plus 100% freshly ground Colombian coffee bean extract. So there's no Arabica in here, or there's no Maxwell House, house blend, breakfast blend. It's pure Colombian, which is a little bit stronger than other coffees, but it gives you that pure coffee taste, which folks really like.
And you said your grandfather had did he come up with the recipe?
So he had, when he had purchased and obtained the business in the early 70s, the original recipes had come with him. However, over the years, there had been some tweaking to the recipe to get it where it is today. Like, for example, I mean, back, not to get too technical, but when he had first received the ownership of Silmo, the recipe, you could actually make this in a cold brew. You don't have to heat it up.
Okay.
We heat up the product because it helps emulsify the thickening agents, things like that, to make it a really good fluid taste and a feel and a texture. So there's things like that we've tweaked along the way, and people have loved it. They've enjoyed the product. It's been fantastically received. We also have the strawberry line that we came out with.
I was going to ask you because you brought what, coffee and strawberry.
So what happened was, when we got coffee really off the ground and it was really doing well, because this is the politician in me, to go back to politics, I'm very diplomatic, very democratic. I put a poll on our Facebook page. I said, here are the flavors that we used to do. Which one would you like to see us come out with next?
Oh,
And hands down, strawberry was the winner by far. So we have the recipe for the strawberry. We brought that back out. And of course, every time before we come out with the syrup, we have to get it FDA lab tested with the nutritional panel and all of that.
Okay.
So we do all of that. And there you go. There's the strawberry. What makes our strawberry great is there's no powder in there, no fake extracts. It's pure strawberry extract. It's the best around. In fact, what makes it the best is that, for instance, the 4 gallons that we get for our extract, it costs us about $600 to get 4 gallons of strawberry extract to make the strawberry syrup. But that just goes to show you how organic and how great it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Did I hear that there's a pumpkin spice coming?
There is. We're going to debut it at the Apple Peach Festival in Acushnet at the weekend of September 9th and 10th. That'll be a seasonal run. We'll see how it does, but the buzz has been great with that. And for Christmas time, we're going to have a peppermint special run.
Oh, wow.
And those are, I don't think about those flavors as additives to milk per se, like these, but I think about those as far as flavor shots for your coffee, toppings on ice creams or for fraps.
How do people use it? Do people use it in their coffees and ice cream?
Yeah, I mean, people use our syrups for a whole myriad of options. Obviously, the milk is the first thing you think of. Ice cream toppings on a scoop of ice cream or on your sundaes in a frap. People use our syrups too as a mixture for like pancake batter or for waffles. There's been a lot of great things. I mean, the coffee makes a great espresso martini. So if you want an adult beverage at home, the strawberry makes a fantastic strawberry daiquiri, either with liquor or without.
Right.
So that's great. But people have used it in food too. A couple of local chefs in their local restaurants have used our coffee syrup. One of the things they did is he made a salmon bites, bourbon salmon.
Really?
Like nugget bites with the coffee. He did bourbon salmon bourbon Silmo chicken wings with the Silmo.
Wow.
And that was fantastic. So people are using it in foods, drinks, and everything else. So it's really cool.
Now, do I understand you left your position at the chamber, right, to launch into this full time? That's a brave move. And
yeah.
Lead me up to that. How did you decide? What did your wife say?
What? You did what? No, I'm kidding. Of course, I had to get the buy-in from home.
Right.
And my wife and my family and my children have been totally supportive. What had happened was I tried to thread the needle, Pete. I really did. I tried to keep my chamber job, do Silmo, be a full-time elected official, being a father and a parent. And a husband couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Something had to draw the short end of someone had to draw the short straw. And unfortunately, it was the chamber. I was honored for the years I spent there. I loved my tenure with the chamber. I was there for 10 and a half years. I felt as though I reached my ceiling at the chamber. I had accomplished everything at the chamber as the business development director that I wanted to and I could. It was just time for me to move on to a new endeavor. So as of March of 2023 this year, I had resigned my position at the chamber to do this full time, and I haven't looked back. So I gave up a decent job. I mean, the chamber was great to me. It was, I drew down a decent salary, and I had a lot of great connections, and it helped me professionally, but it was time. It was time for me to move on to something else.
Now, you and I have known each other I was trying to think the other day, it's got to be what, 15, 20 years?
I first met you when I worked for you back in the day at WBSM. I met you, I was a freshman in college, so that would have been the fall of 2004.
And what I remember about you was that you loved sports. Yeah. And am I wrong? You wanted to be a sports broadcaster? But
I did, yeah.
And now it's like you were telling me before we started that you do some games for Dartmouth.
Yeah.
But now it's like you're like totally away from sports.
I pretty much am. Yeah, I still love all the sports, professional all the way through local high school. I still follow it in case I get the call. Hey, we need a fill-in for tonight. Can you do it?
Joe Buck has a cough.
Joe Buck has a cough. Yeah. Come on down. And I did it professionally for a while. You might remember when I worked for you, I went to Ohio for a summer to call baseball games for a collegiate team.
Right.
I did it for the New Bedford Bay Sox for 2 years. I did it for the Newport Gulls of the New England Collegiate League. I've done everything from football to field hockey, high school and collegiate. I've enjoyed it, but doesn't really pay the bills.
No, I was going to say, unless you become a Joe Buck or a Troy Aikman, it's not.
Or a Pete Braley,
Well,
But so of course I talk now, but in a different way. I grandstand in a different way.
Okay, all right. We're talking to Ian Abreu about Silmo Syrups and life in general. I understand you took some down to New Bedford Day in Fort Myers, right?
I did.
How was it received?
That was fantastic, and I'd be remiss if I did not thank former Mayor Brian Lawler who runs the event, for welcoming me down, and he helped me with the arrangements and the setup. It was very easy. My business associate and I flew down to Fort Myers, and we flew down to Sarasota. We stayed in Sarasota at a friend's house, but we bopped back and forth between Fort Myers and where we were staying. And the New Bedford Day in Fort Myers at the Shell Factory was a wonderful experience.
It is. I've been there a couple of times.
You've been there, right, with the radio stuff, and you get to network with current and former New Bedfordites, and bringing back Silmo. It was I'll use a baseball term, was right in that joy zone, sweet spot for us for a home run, right? Because, all the folks that were there were like, oh my God, I remember this when your grandfather had it. I remember it back at such and such drugstore in the 1950s. I used to go, the Soda Jerk used to have Silmo. And
wow.
So we would have these great stories. It was great to reconnect.
Do you get many requests from other parts of the country?
I do. A lot of them are former New Bedfordites or South Coast residents who have...
Because not everybody knows what... I mean, if you go to, I don't know, some random place... If you go to Arkansas and order a coffee milk, they look at you like, you want coffee in your milk? Or...
Yeah, which I don't understand, because people nationally love coffee. We're a high-charged society.
Yeah.
And I explained to people in Florida, and I had this conversation with a waitress actually at the Waffle House over breakfast one day. I was, of course, telling everybody about what I do and who I'm with, and I had said, she goes, well, how do you do it? I said, well, have you had like Nesquik or chocolate milk or strawberry? She said, yeah.
Okay.
I said, think about the same consistency, the same deal, but with a coffee flavor. And she thought that was the coolest thing. She goes, I can't believe that's not a thing everywhere. I said, so do I. I feel the same way. Florida, other than obviously Mass, New England, New Hampshire, the New England states, which we're in different retail stores, Florida is definitely our biggest market penetration.
Okay.
And we're, knock on wood, we're closing in on a pretty big contract with a major grocer in Florida through a broker. We were connected through my dear friend Bob Gaspar at Gaspar's Linguiça.
Okay.
So he was able to connect me through, and so hopefully we'll be in Florida soon, because we get a lot, as we all know, a lot of folks from New Bedford or from the South Coast live down there now, whether full-time or they're snowbirds. They still want their coffee milk. They want their coffee fraps. So, who better than Silmo to go down to Florida? So hopefully that deal will get closed pretty soon.
Hey, let's go to your put on your sportscaster hat there.
Sure.
What do you think about the Patriots this year?
Well, I don't know.
You're not optimistic?
Well, I like the signing of Ezekiel Elliott. I think he and Ramondre Stevenson will be a good 1-2 punch in the backfield, because they're pile-driving running backs. I think that'll be good. I think getting Zeke was certainly a way to help chip at the line, because they have offensive line issues. So he'll help with the run block and the pass play-action block. The defense looks pretty good as long as the Jones brothers or the Jones boys and the rookie Gonzalez can stay on the field. I think the defensive backfield and their linebacking core is pretty good. Offensively, I'm still not sold on Mac Jones.
Really?
Still not. No.
Yeah.
I now, for full disclosure, I was on Team Zappy last year. I really was.
You were, huh?
I like Zappy, yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen this year with Malik Cunningham now as a wrinkle in this whole thing, because he's an excellent athlete. He can run. Do you maybe use Malik now in these option situations or rollouts? I don't know how Bill Belichick plays this out.
You must be happy with Bill O'Brien being there.
Very happy.
Yeah.
And even the offensive players are even saying, like, without throwing Patricia under the bus, they're pretty much saying it's good to have structure and to know what we're doing out here.
Right.
So I look forward to seeing a decrease in the stupid penalties this year on offense. They're going to be maybe a game or two above 500. I don't know. Is it enough to make the playoffs? There's a lot of parity in football, especially now. There's a third wild card spot. I don't know how that all shakes out.
Right.
Believe it or not, the Pats have either the second or third toughest schedule in the league still, which I don't understand how that shakes out.
Based on their record last year,
yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm a diehard Pats fan. I always will be, but we'll see how it goes.
You're okay with my Dolphin helmet being
Yeah,
on
I
set
know.
here?
Yeah, I know you're a Dolphin fan. It's all right. I mean, the Dolphins are a good team. They've got a
If
good
Tua can
offense.
stay healthy, that's my only thing. If the quarterback can not get his bell rung, we might be all right.
He's had some concussion issues, and of course, as you know, the NFLPA and NFL, they take it very seriously now, as they should. So I don't know how that might shake out with Tua this year, but I mean, it's conceivable to think that the Patriots could be above 500 and still in last place of the AFC East this year.
True.
I don't know I don't know what's going to happen, but a lot's going to shake out over the next couple of weeks as training camp sort of takes shape. I do like the Ezekiel Elliott signing. I think for short money, I think there's a huge upside to him, but I don't know. It's going to be quite a. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good football season, regardless. I'm happy and excited to see it because the Red Sox have been very frustrating for me this year. So.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, let's have some fun. I told you we'd do a couple of things here if you have time. I recently read that there's a National Cheese Pizza Day at the beginning of September, which got me wondering, what are your top 5 pizza toppings? I don't mean all on one pizza.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to order pizza and they don't have this, what's
Sure.
your second choice? So, we'll start at number 1.
Well, obviously, because I'm a New Bedford guy through and through, it has to be linguiça
I agree.
or charice. I like charice too, but that's a Fall River thing. We don't talk about those guys. No, I'm kidding. I love Fall River. I have a lot of clients in Fall River, so obviously linguiça or charice.
All right, so we both agreed linguiça number 1.
So number 2 for me.
Number 2.
That's tough. Either I say Italian sausage.
Really?
I love Italian sausage. Yeah.
See, now I go with cheese.
Just plain cheese.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a cheese pizza.
But here's the thing. It depends, though, on the sausage. Is it the sausage like cut rings or is it ground? If it's the rings, I say no. If it's the ground pieces, I say yes.
Yeah.
But I'm weird. But I like pepperoni rings, but I don't like pepperoni crumbled.
How about the
I'm weird.
linguiça? Do you like...
No, it's going to be ground for me.
Got to be ground.
For
See,
me.
Sliced for me.
Sliced for you.
Yeah.
See? It's what makes the world go around,
There you go.
folks.
So your number 2 is sausage?
Italian sausage,
Italian
I would say.
sausage.
What's yours?
Number 3 for me is pepperoni.
3. Okay. I'll say pepperoni 3 for me, too. I like a good pepperoni.
Because if I'm like visiting my kids in Virginia and I can't get a linguiça pizza, my second choice, like I said, is cheese.
Sure.
But pepperoni's good.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, I'm going to hit you with chicken bacon Alfredo.
Interesting. I like that.
I think it's, is it Domino's that has a great one that I like?
Domino's does have one, yeah. So for me, after that, I'd probably say, if we're going to do a little kooky little combo thing, there's a pizza shop in the South Coast. I won't name the name because, but they do a Clams Casino pizza.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of clams, some bacon, some garlic. It's beautiful. It's really well done.
My daughter told me about a restaurant in the area that actually has a scallop and bacon pizza.
It's the same restaurant that I'm referring to.
Brewfish. All right, what's that, right?
Actually, no.
No, where?
I'll say it's Phase 2.
Okay.
I didn't say it's public access, so you know what I mean. But it's not like radio where if they don't pay for advertising.
They didn't buy an ad. You gave them a free ad. All right, now I had trouble with my 5th one because I do like sausage. I'm okay with vegetable. A veggie pizza
Yeah,
as
me
long
too.
as
Yeah.
I don't do olives. I can't have olives.
That's funny. I don't do olives either. I don't do tomatoes. Like hunk tomatoes.
Right. So, my number 5, I went with one that can be controversial for some people. Ham and pineapple.
Ooh, the
Does
Hawaiian.
pineapple belong on a pizza?
Not for me. I don't like it. I've tried it. Not for me. But hey, horses for courses, they say, right? So everyone likes their own thing. For me, my number 5, I would probably say I like a good white pizza, like the Bianca.
Okay.
Bianco, I think they call it, with just no sauce, basically it's cheese bread, but it has the garlic on it.
Okay.
It's a nice pizza that you can dip into some marinara sauce or maybe some buffalo sauce or whatever you might like, blue cheese. I like that. It's a good change of pace.
I'm hungry.
Me too. Let's go to lunch.
Yeah. All right. Finally, before I let you go, I told you that a feature on the show we're going to have called the Random Question, just out of thin air, this question. So my question this week is, what is a song that comes on the radio and you immediately have to turn it up? If you're in your car driving along, you go, oh, wow, and you got to turn it up. I have a couple.
Well, I have a couple. I mean, and there's a few obviously that get you really pumped up. "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi is a good one.
Right.
For me, "Revolution" by the Beatles.
Yes.
I mean, that guitar intro at the beginning. Yep. And there's quite a few. "Light My Fire" by the Doors. I'm a big classic rock guy. I always have been, much to the chagrin of my wife, because she likes, the Fun 107 stuff, and I like it too. For the record, I'm hip, I'm down, I'm cool. I like all that. Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus. I'm into all that, but I'm still a classic rock guy. At heart. So any type of good rock and roll, "Girls, Girls, Girls" by Motley Crue, for example.
Wow, okay.
That's nice, some nice heavy 80s metal. A song like "Love Gun" by Kiss.
You've thought this through.
I'm just rattling it off because I'm a classic rock guy,
All right. I have two. One of them is "Sweet Home Alabama."
Sure, yeah.
Bum, bum, ba-dum. As soon as I hear that, it's got to...
All the way, yeah.
And the other one is "Bohemian Rhapsody." You don't always hear the first few words if your radio's down.
Yeah.
But it's like, is this the real... Crank it up.
So that's the great debate, right? Are you team Bohemian Rhapsody or team Stairway to Heaven? Because that's usually the great debate about the classic rock ballad. I love them both, so it's tough for me to...
if I had to pick one over the other, it'd be Bohemian Rhapsody, I think. Just because it's... Remember when you listen to that song and you think, what was he on when he wrote that? Because it's just so...
The ebbs and flows.
Various forms of music. Opera comes in.
Opera with hard rock.
Right.
And the harmonies are fantastic.
They are.
We could talk classic rock all day,
We
too.
could. We'll have to be back.
See, I'm a Renaissance man.
I guess
Believe
so.
it or not,
Ian Abreu, our guest on show number 1. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And again, if folks are interested in learning more about Silmo Syrup, you can log on to our website, smilewithsilmo.com, and I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Time for our feel-good feature. Remember, if you hear a good news story or something is happening in your life, feel free to let me know. You can email thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. Our story this week actually comes from Phoenix, where Clayton Guy has been a teacher at Arcadia High School for over 25 years. Last spring, his students noticed a change in his mood, and they learned that his wife, Angel, had been having chest pains and needed open-heart surgery. A student, Parker Bond, was a senior, and when he learned about Angel's condition, and learned that the surgery would be expensive, he got his fellow students together and they launched an online fundraiser to help out. He ended up raising more than $10,000. The teacher, Clayton, said he was taken aback by the students' desire to help his wife. The money helped to relieve a lot of stress as Clayton and Angel went through their ordeal. And now we're happy to report that Angel is well on her way to a full recovery. Don't forget, I'd love your input. If you have any stories to share, please let me know. We leave you with a thought for the day today, and our thought for today: always start the day with positivity, and that's the kind of day it'll become. If you're thinking about the negative and dwelling on the negative, that's the kind of day you're going to have. You're just going to keep stumbling on things. You're going to keep focusing on the bad stuff. Your mood's going to be horrible. But if you start the day with positivity, that's the kind of day it will become. Thank you so much for being here for our first show. Remember, I'd love to hear from you. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to send it to thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and I leave you with this thought. No matter what, go out and make it a great day.